everyone, this is Tamara, your courtroom companion. Welcome to my channel where we talk about narcissism, family court, and custody. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a faithful follower, welcome back. This is the second video in a series that I'm doing about parenting coordination. So check out in the cards above the first video that I did where we talked about what is a parenting coordinator and what role do they fulfill in your custody case. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about how you actually get assigned a parenting coordinator, or a PC for short. I'm also going to talk about, in my case specifically, how we got assigned a parenting coordinator, and then I'm also going to share with you the actual language from that court order where we were assigned a parenting coordinator. I'm also going to provide a personal example of what one of the issues that we talked about with our parenting coordinator and what the outcome was of that coordination with her. As always, what I talk about here is just my own personal opinion. I'm not a mental health therapist. I'm not an attorney. This is just my personal journey of what I've learned over the past 8 years since I've been involved in the family court system. So please don't take anything I say as legal or mental health advice. This is, again, just my experiences I'm sharing with you, and I'm hoping that as a community that they're helpful to you. If you can get anything from my videos that will help you in your custody battle, then I'm really happy about that. Before we get started, please do hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you'll be notified when I upload my content. So how do you get assigned a parenting coordinator? There's several ways that this can happen. One, either one of the parents can request a parenting coordinator. A judge can assign a parenting coordinator to your case, or the parents can jointly file to get a parenting coordinator. It doesn't have to be one of the other parties. Those are the ways that I know that a parenting coordinator can be assigned, but if you're part of our community and you were assigned a parenting coordinator in a different way, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. We always share information so that we're all prepared for our own family court battle. So do share below if you were assigned a parenting coordinator in a different way. We'd love to hear about it. So in my case, our parenting coordinator was assigned post-judgment, meaning we already had a custody order in place during the first custody trial. We had an order, and then a parenting coordinator was assigned as part of our second custody order. So there was a second modification of custody where we had a court battle or a trial, and our PC was named in our second custody order. So again, post-judgment. So I want to read to you the language that was in my particular court order so you can kind of see how it comes about. This might not be the language that's used in your case or in your order, but it just gives you an example. So I have my custody order here, and it's interesting. The first time that a PC is mentioned in the order is like on page 2 or 3, and it says, there's a part of the sentence I won't read you because it's kind of like confusing. It's with our physical custody, and it says, if they cannot work this schedule out, they will bring issue to the PC. So what's interesting about that wording is that it almost alludes to the idea that the schedule's not clear, and if it's not clear, then we can go to the PC. Now, inherently, when you're working, or the other parent is a narcissist or has narcissistic tendencies, this language is all that they need to kind of play around and make things complicated, because it says if they cannot work this schedule out, they will bring issue to the PC. That a narcissist or someone with narcissistic tendencies can say, oh, well, I don't like that schedule, and I'm going to pretend not to work it out so we can go to the PC so I can, try to get it changed, because as I mentioned in my first video, which is in the cards above, I said something to the effect of that the parenting coordinator doesn't have the authority to order anything. And so because they're not a judge and can't order anything, A narcissist can see this statement as something that's the schedule's negotiable. And they know the PC doesn't have the authority to change it, but can make agreements between the parents. It just creates a nightmare. So the next page, a couple of pages later, it references the PC again, and it said, if there is no agreement after the consultation, the parties will engage the services of the parenting coordinator and attempt to resolve the issue. That can be taken as any issue that that the parties can't work out, they can go to the parenting coordinator. Or it can be taken as if there's no agreement after consultation with one specific issue, the issue named right before this, that they can go to the parenting coordinator. Then later on in the court order, it says, further ordered that the parties will engage the services of parenting coordinator, and then they name her, to devise a new holiday schedule. So in 3 different areas in our court order, it says that we can engage the parenting coordinator. In my case, that was a problem because you can interpret that in any number of ways. You can take it as any issue you can take to the parenting coordinator, or you can take it as you can talk about a holiday schedule, or you can talk about this. Like it's just very confusing. When I entered our parenting coordination phase, I thought to myself, well, if we have a parenting coordinator and we're paying for her services, then why not bring any issue that we have a problem with? I mean, we're there for an hour, let's talk about stuff. But my ex-spouse didn't think that. He only wanted to discuss the holiday schedule. And so that was ultimately a problem for us. But nonetheless, we'll get more into that later in another video, because I wanted to provide to you an example of what one of the issues that was discussed in our parenting coordination meetings and how that turned out. Just to kind of give you an example of like maybe some of the issues that you could bring up in your case. So in this particular instance, our son had broken his arm jumping at this gymnastics place. And one of the issues that was always a problem for me was whenever we would go to medical appointments, they were very, very stressful because of the way I felt I was treated by my ex-spouse in front of medical professionals and in front of our son. And it was just very, very uncomfortable. For example, I would say, such and such is going on, and my ex-spouse would say, that's not going on at my house. That's just not true. And so there was always this problem. And so medical appointments became an issue. Well, after our son broke his arm and he was in a cast, he was going to get his cast off. And my ex-spouse wanted him to start going to football practice. And I was like, well, he's not quite ready. He just got his cast off. I might be getting some of these details wrong, but nonetheless, we discussed this broken arm and when he would be able to go back to playing sports. And our parenting coordinator kind of heard all of the details. And again, the details are less important than the fact that we were able to discuss this issue with our parenting coordinator. And she outlined a process for what should occur when we go to the doctor about discussing when our son could play sports again. So she just said, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and I want you to do them in that order. So she outlined a process of what we should do. She said, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and I want you to do them in this order, so that neither parent would feel like their position was getting watered down. So my position was he wasn't ready to go back to sports, and my ex-spouse thought he was ready. Neither one of us wanted to, have our positions watered down in front of the doctor for any reason, because we felt strongly about our position. So anyway, our parenting coordinator outlined a process of what we should do when we go in to see the doctor about determining whether he was ready to go back to sports or not. And so that was what we did, and it turned out fine. I don't even remember if he started right after that playing sports or he waited. I don't even remember. I just wanted to share that example of something that our parenting coordinator kind of helped us with. And so maybe that is something that you can take back to your parenting coordinator. If you have a problem with medical appointments or sports or anything like that, you can talk about that with your parenting coordinator. If you have other examples of things that you talked about with your parenting coordinator, we would love to hear about it in the comments below. Our community is always interested in learning from one another. So thank you for dropping those comments and questions, and I will get back to them as soon as I, if you drop a comment or a question, I will try to get to that as soon as possible. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.